Hey guys, it's Seeney, and today we're going to be talking about my lost drone. So things were going so well. I was up nice and early for this shoot down at Kiama, and we got some amazing shots on the camera and some really nice drone shots of Kiama Harbour. Things were going so good, and we had a lot of fun. We got through the first location and that was all done. We got to have breakfast, which was amazing. And then we went down to Bombo Quarry. If you haven't seen Bombo Quarry, type that into Google and you'll see some incredible photos that people have taken in that area. It's a great spot for filming. So we went down there and it was very, very windy. And that was kind of a double-edged sword because we were getting great takes with lots of waves coming up over the top of the quarry. However, at the same time, I was getting a lot of water on the lens. So every 30 seconds or so, here I was trying to rub the lens clean. But we ended up getting some really cool stuff, and the last thing that we were doing was getting the drone footage. So I get the drone out and the drone's kind of buffeting around in the wind, but of course the gimbal on them is really good, so it made the footage look very stable. So I'm flying around and we got some great sweeping shots of the quarry. Now, right at the end, I was getting a final sweeping shot. It was literally the last shot. And I've taken it up a little bit higher than before, and the wind just grabbed the drone and pulled it out to sea. I tried everything I could to bring this drone back into land. Absolutely everything. I put on sport mode. I tried to fly it in the direction of the wind, everything, but nothing worked. So I thought to myself, I'm gonna have to fly this with the wind and try and get it to the nearest beach. So I started flying and things were going relatively well. We were getting some movement and it was going in the right direction, and I'm watching the battery slowly go down further and further. Anyone that has a DJI Mavic knows that once the battery gets to a certain level, it begins to automatically land. Now at this point I was still out over the water, and then it came through on the controller that the DJI Mavic was starting to land. And the problem with where we were shooting is there's a massive rock face between where we were and the beach. So as it started to come down, I started to lose connection with the drone. And it's going and going and going, and I can see the beach, but we're not quite there. And then eventually I lost connection with the drone and it landed somewhere in the ocean. So we drove around to the beach. I had the GPS coordinates in the water. I was hoping maybe it would be somewhere near there. It was probably about 30 meters out from the beach. We were so close. And I got to the beach, and the first thing I did was I ripped off my shirt. I didn't even know how cold the water was. Normally the water gets pretty cold there in Kiama, but I didn't even care. I was straight in there to try and find my drone. But I got about 10 meters in and I just knew that it was hopeless. There was no way I was going to find it. The waves were too big and you couldn't see below the water, so it was absolutely hopeless. So my drone is somewhere out there in the Pacific with some great high-def footage. So if anyone's at Kiama Beach and they see a drone that washes up on the shore and it's a Mavic, it's probably mine. So yes, unfortunately we didn't get the drone. However, DJI, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to put in a function where the video streams back to your phone at a lower resolution, at 720. So I had a quick look at the footage and I was actually incredibly surprised. Even knowing it was only 720p, the footage is still usable. So here I was thinking that, it was gone forever, we weren't going to be able to use any of the footage, but it's still usable. So that is a big plus to DJI. You've saved my ass. Obviously it's not ideal compared to the footage on the drone, but it's the best we can do because the drone and the card are swimming with the fishes. So pro tip for anyone that wants to go and fly their drone in the high winds, don't. Otherwise you're going to have no drone like me until next week. So yes, that was a lesson learned. Don't fly the drone in really high winds. I thought the Mavic would be able to handle it, but you just can't tell what the wind conditions are going to be, so it's better not to risk your very expensive drone. But on the plus side, I just had a brand new lens delivered. is the Olympus 7 to 14 millimeter lens. It's incredibly wide. I've had my eye on this lens for quite a while. I'm very, very glad that it's turned up today. I've just been using the Panasonic 12 to 35 lens at the moment, which is a great lens. I absolutely love it. It works in so many different conditions. But for a few shots, I've noticed that I just wanted to get a little bit wider, and that's why I got this thing. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a demo of this lens. What I'm gonna do right now is change the lens on the camera. All right, now we're shooting with the Olympus 7 to 14. Previous, I was shooting with this, the Panasonic Lumix 12 to 35, and I was shooting with it on 12. But you can see how much wider this is at 7 millimeters and how much more you can get in the shot, which is why I decided to get it. Such a great lens. I guess my only problem I have with it is that you can't attach ND filters onto it unless you have kind of an adapter on top of it, which is a little bit frustrating, but I thought that the 7 millimeters would be worth it to get as wide as possible. And we're back. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my drone adventure. You do need to be careful. It is a very expensive piece of equipment. Hope you enjoyed hearing about my story, and that prevents you guys from losing them in the future. So my name is Seeney, so make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a lot of content about filmmaking and different things like that. So I might even upload a music video every once in a while. So stay tuned guys, and we'll catch you later.